All right, everyone. I just wanted to show a video example of this software meter that I use with my RME interface. This is called the DigiCheck NG. It's only available in use with RME interfaces. So unfortunately, you can't use it with just any device. But for those that do have an RME interface, if you haven't downloaded this software, you need to. It's it's definitely a game changer. It definitely helps with workflow, watching your gain stage, watching your levels, and just getting information about the audio file in a different way. We mostly use our ears to analyze audio, but this plugin gives you a visual representation of what you're hearing. And it does it in a very cool way. And I'm going to show you how customizable it can be and how you can make it fit your needs. Right now, if you're looking at the screen, you're seeing my layout. This is my recording layout, where if I'm recording someone, I'm recording myself. I can, I can look at the VU meter, the peak meter, and the frequency response all in one window, which is great for me. Now, if I was recording something like dual mic guitar, I might have an vector scope on there so I can check the phase. But because I'm recording just a vocal, I don't have that on this particular template that I saved. And that's another great thing about it, that you can save templates and just recall them. And I'm going to show you a couple of templates in a moment. Now, the way I have this set up and routed is that these instruments here, they call them instruments. If you go to the top, they call them, you can have different instrument layouts. You can have up to 4. Right now, on my template, I have 3. And you can see the third one is showing on the bottom. But if I wanted to move that to the right, see, it's going to move to the right, which is the VU, and these two stay to the left. And see, I have a little smaller screen of that, but a bigger size VU meter. So you can really tweak this the way you would like. Let me go back to my original, which was at the bottom, actually. Sorry. There we go. And you can modify this the way you want. Like, I'll give you an example of it right now. If I right click on the VU meter here, I can go to settings and I can tell it, the reference level I want. I can go from volume to peak, or VU meter to, a peak meter. I like my peak meter to be digital. It's just easier for me to read. And you can change a lot more data in here. Smoothness of the blur of the VU. And with this one here, this peak meter I have showing to the left, I actually have it set up similar to how Bob Katz would set up his scale. You have a K meter scale with him, K20, K14, and K12. I customize it the way I like working. That guy's a genius already, but I kind of piggybacked off what he was doing and created my own scale. I work in 3 dB scales. So, most people who state in audio, who record or who listen to audio, most people say that we can hear a 3 dB change. That's when most people start to hear it. Some people are, well versed than others. They can hear that 1 dB change, a half a dB. But in general, most people hear like a 3 dB change in sound and pressure. So I work from, let's say, -18, then -15, then 12. So similar to what he does, but just a little different, if that helps. Well, I can see here my 0 point is, I got 18 decibels of headroom here. So it allows me to see where my peaks are actually falling. And also my VU meter gives me a more detailed look on my average levels, as you can see. This does too. So I kind of got the best of both worlds. I kind of changed the color rating where I can see when it's getting close. And that's like I said, that's the beauty of this meter. It's not too many meters out there that allow you to do this much customization. They give you a certain set of features, and you got to work with it. With this one, you can say, hey, I want it to do this. And I really like that about this RME DigiCheck software. In a few moments, I'm going to play some audio through the meter so you can see how it looks through the different templates that I have. Okay, so, all right, let's open up one of my templates. Start off with my, let's do my mixing template. Open this up. And I'm also going to switch the audio that's going to the meter as well. I'm going to actually play some audio so you can have that as an example as well. Now, through DigiCheck, through Total Mix FX gives you so many routing capabilities. I really love the mixer. I wish it had more effects built into it. With mine, I'm using the Babyface Pro FS, so you don't get as much. If they can add that room EQ to this, that would have been amazing. Where I can, actually have that option here, like on the UFX series of their devices. But they listen it, they can add it, that'd be amazing. But you can route pretty much anything anywhere with this particular software. And right now you can see I have this channel that I have set with the loopback. Not really using it. I think that was channel ADAT 3 and 4. I'm not using ADAT, so I just took my ADAT channels and used all of them as loopbacks to route to different locations. And of course renamed them so I know what they are. So right now I'm gonna go to my DigiCheck, take my mic off it, and I'm gonna play some audio through it. All right, so my mic is off the DigiCheck. As you can see, there's no levels going in, but I got my Mac OS set to it. So all right, so now I got it set up to play some audio through it. And you're going to see how on my mixing template, the meters are a little different, a little more detailed. You can see the RMS levels on the outside, the peak meters on the inside. I got my vector scope, my VU meter kind of stacked that way. And also I have my spectrometer showing the different frequencies. And you can see, where my levels are falling at on the VU and also up here. So I have it where, 15 is my cutoff point for my average, and then I can see my peaks where they're falling at in real great detail. I mean, like, it's hard to really describe how fast and smooth this meter is. They have an option here where you can prevent it from sleeping. It'll keep the window open pretty much. And then you also have where you can use your GPU to process it. And I think that's what makes it so fast and so great, because you're able to drop the buffer settings for the meter. I got mine set to 16 with no problems because it's using the GPU instead of your CPU, which I thought was genius. I think any other meter and plugin developer needs to watch this, that they're using that GPU. It's smooth. And like I said, the only downfall with this is that it only works with RME interfaces. I mean, if it could work with any other interface, that would be great. But I understand they made it particularly for their stuff. RME make their own driver, so they kind of cater to their devices, which I love. All right, let's open up another template here. I'm going to open up my reference meter template. So this is just me, just wanted to see audio in the, open this to full. Audio just with a full spectrum meter here, as well as not too much of the full, just showing the peak and average all in 1 meter instead of the 2 like I did with the mixing and, of course, my vector scope. So you'll see how that looks here. See, and you can, like I said, you don't have to have them separated. You can see, and I don't have a scale where it's 0. It's just 0 dB, and I can see if it's going over 0. You wouldn't believe how many masters that I listen to on Spotify and in different places where it sounds clean and great, but it's hitting over 0. It's hitting over 0, man. The mastering engineers, they got some tricks up their sleeve, you know. I'm going to open up another one here. Okay, I showed you my recording, my reference, my mixing. Now let's go to my mastering one. Now this is the thing I told you to wait to the end to see for this particular meter, and this is why. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff here, but I only have 2 instruments. If you look, 2 towels, right? 2. How did I get all this in here? Well, they have one, I call it a towel. Like I said, it's actually, they call it instruments, but I call it a towel, where if you select it, which is this one, the totalizer, it gives you 4 in 1. And you can max it out. I can add 2 more in here still and kind of tweak this the way I want, which I'm going to show you in a few moments. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and add 4. Bam. Bring this back down here. You just drag and move the towels around. Bring my view meter back above. And I'm going to keep this on the side here. And I'm going to try to see if I can shrink it a little more. Keep it like that. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch it. And bring the VU meters at the bottom. There we go. I think I like that better. Now with these 2 towels, I'm going to switch it up. For this one, let's add a oscilloscope. And for this one, let's add a spectrogram, right? And let's change the vertical scale, make it a little bit smaller. And let's open this up just so it can be seen a little bit better. Now, as you can see, I've have a lot of stuff going on this meter. Now, this one isn't showing anything. I'm going to change it. I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to keep it at reference 6. But if you're not seeing any audio coming through to any of the modules, what you want to do, this one is set for auto, so it's going to automatically have that audio showing there. But if you don't have any, if you right click and select input, you can actually choose. Now in my case, I'm using the DigiCheck, so right now I have the mic going through it. As you notice, the fader's all the way down. I just have the Mac OS. But for this channel, as I stated before, that's 8 at 3 and 4. So you just got to make sure you select that is your option. So whatever you're trying to send audio from, you select it. So my case, what was it again? I think it was 3 and 4. I always forget the names. Yeah, 8 at 3 and 4. Bam. And let me send it to it. Sorry about that. Now you can see the audio going through to there. And let me just show you this one briefly. This was one of my favorites too. I just don't use it as much, but I'm going to start incorporating it. So if I go to settings, it's a lot of settings in here I can change. Like right now, it's this blue. I like the color that's similar to, let's say, Isotope, how they have their scale. As you can see with the orange and the purple, I kind of like that one better. And let's speed it up a little bit. Well, we're going to slow it down not that fast. Maybe to like 300. So it could go by a little faster. similar to what's up here. And let's change it from, let's make it stationary. So that way it's similar to what we see up here. You can also change the range it shows. So if I do 100 dB, I'm gonna pick up a lot more content showing visually. So I can see what frequency the voice is falling in. But if I just wanted to see what was stronger, like a stronger signal, I can change it to, let's say, 60, right? And I get less of the noise in the background, but more of the actual strongest signals that are showing, right? So it looks a little cleaner, but it's not showing me as much detail as I like. So let me go back here. And I can narrow down the frequency range too. But all in all, I think this is, oh, we can have the reference too, so you don't have to have that showing. Let me change that to have control panel. That way we have a bigger, more information to work with, more to look at. And as you can see, I'm tweaking this, and I'm gonna redo the scale too. I'm just showing you how you can make these changes. Let's go back to settings. Let's bring that back to 20 to 20, right? And this time I'm gonna play some audio through it so we can get the full range. And I'm gonna change this back. Sorry, wrong one. Inputs and I meant settings. Oh, it's already at 6. Okay, good. And we'll just play some audio through it so we can just see how this works again. Now, you can't hear the audio, and I did that on purpose. I just wanted to show you the actual metering itself. And like I stated, I think this particular meter is one that if you haven't downloaded it and you have a RME interface, you should. There should be no reason why you don't have this. I mean, even if you run it on a different, let's say you have more than one desktop set up and you run it on a different desktop, that's fine too. You know, you can slide over and look at it, slide back over. I mean, it's just like having this meter can help. You know, I have an analog VU meter, and this is the only meter that I know that has the speed to keep up and match my analog VU meter. That says a lot, because the other ones I use, software ones, I tried other companies as well. Their software version of their VU meter, it wasn't fast enough. You can see the lag. It was latency because of the buffer setting. You couldn't set low enough, and it didn't use the GPU. It used the CPU, and it just, you can see the lag. It would be accurate by hitting 0, but imagine me as a runner. I'm in first. That meter would be like in 5th or 6th. So you can definitely see that lag. With this one, it's spot on. I was like, wow. So I know it's not too many videos on this particular meter, the DigiCheck NG. So that's why I wanted to just tell everyone about it and show them the options and features it has, because like I said, if you have an RME interface, this can be very useful for you. Very useful. I mean, you don't have to pay for a VU meter, a peak meter, analyzer. It's all there for free on their website. So until next time, hope everyone bless. Have a great day.